of LVYC Live. Today, we want to touch on a topic what everybody's talking about with the assassination of Charlie Kirk. And I want to see you guys feedback, and I want you guys to chime in and let me know, both perspectives, good, bad, the ugly. Today, we brought somebody on board today to share another opinion. Say hi.
Hi everyone.
Hi, everybody. And we're going to get to it. And I want to see, what you guys think today. Give me some feedback, and we'll take it from there and see what's everybody's take on this. Yep. As we set up here, you gotta bear with us. All right, so,
So
yep,
figured we'd catch you on the live at the same time.
yep. Bit challenging getting that angle in, guys, but bear with us. Yep.
He's just setting up here to record the full episode that we're gonna record on the episode.
And we're talking about Charlie Kirk, and I want to see you guys take on everything and see, what's going on in the world, what's everybody's take on it.
Yeah.
And how does everybody feel? I think it's a very important topic to address, why we decided today to go over it.
And we want to make sure that everybody remains, respectful, because there's going to be different opinions, of course. It is a sensitive topic, and this just happened yesterday, so we want to make sure that everybody's viewpoints are heard, but in a
Correct.
respectful way. That's why we're here.
Correct. And I think it's important. I think, he died in front of his family, most importantly. So no matter what people feel, that hit me hard. How about you? How do you feel like when you saw the video? For anybody watching, I don't know if you guys saw the actual video. Actual video was very graphic. I don't know if you saw it.
Yeah, unfortunately, I did, and that has nothing to do with my viewpoint on him or politics. I just think nobody really wants to see something like that. It's pretty violent, and I think we definitely don't condone violence, regardless.
No, not at all.
You know.
But I think it needs to be addressed, because I'm like, where is the state of the world? How wasn't there better security? Not saying that you could prevent these things, but I feel like with the temperature of the world and all these weird things happening, this is just another weird thing to add to the list. Like when we were growing up and you heard the president's getting assassinated, JFK. I feel like, not to compare the two, but I feel like.
Well, let's give them a little
That's
intro for some people who might not know. Because to be totally honest with you, I didn't really know much about Charlie Kirk before this happened, and that's sometimes what happens with these things. Is that
Same. I just saw an image of his face. But
people sometimes become more famous after they die, and
Facts.
I think a lot more people learned about him because his death now, which is unfortunate, but from what I've learned so far is he was 31, from Arizona, or lived in Arizona at least. Married with 2 kids. He wasn't a politician per se, nor was he part of a campaign, but he would run these organized events for Republicans, where he would go to different speaking events, really trying to rally up a lot of conservative Republicans, gain more youthful,
younger people.
younger Trump
Yeah, that's what I
supporters.
read. He was like, I had a youth organization, kind of like one of those nonprofit
Yes, Turning
things.
Point, is what
Yes,
it's called,
yes,
Turning
correct.
Point USA. And yesterday, that was one of those speaking events, and it was at the University
So it
of
wasn't nothing
Utah.
to do with the political campaign.
Well, it was related to all of this. That's why a lot of MAGA supporters were there. You
Gotcha.
know, you saw a lot of people wearing the hats. University of Utah.
Yeah, they
Utah
all
is a very-
coincide with each other. I
Yeah.
got it.
Yeah, and Utah is a very conservative state. You know, they have a lot of Christians, and he was very known for being very religious. You know, his topics usually did include religious topics. You know, he was very anti-abortion.
Gotcha.
And he talked a lot about this immigration issues.
See, that's important to know, because I didn't know he was so deep. I just saw him as a face. I've seen him post pictures, like the thumbnail that you guys are seeing. I've seen his branded image probably since he was 29. I thought he was like a little baby president in training, like running some type of campaign.
And maybe that's what he wanted to do eventually, you know.
No,
Maybe
who knows?
once
Who
that's
knows?
probably his little stepping stone into it, because he was very close to
Yeah,
Trump
and
and
you have to
Trump
have some
Jr.
type of purpose to just randomly be doing these things. You know,
Yeah.
sometimes I think a lot of these wealthy families, excuse us for a second, we're right here by the airport. I think a lot of these wealthy families, they instill like, you know, trust funds or like certain little wealthy patterns for them to follow, because he's been doing this thing since he was kind of young. So maybe he was inspired to be the next president. You know,
Maybe.
like a fallen star, seeing this whole thing unfold. You know, he had a
Yeah.
long, promising career possibly ahead of him. Because who knows, if he's making these type of moves, maybe it rubs somebody the wrong way. You know, just him being a young, inspired person rubbed them the wrong way, especially with everybody having these weird political views.
And clearly he had built, you know, the connections. I mean, if
No, 1,000%.
he was good friends with Trump Jr., J.D. Vance, you know, a lot of these politicians, even Democrats who are obviously not for him or his views, they still tweeted or wrote posts
1,000
condoning
about
this
it,
violence
correct,
yesterday,
correct.
because nobody thinks this is right. I mean, just because you disagree with somebody's views doesn't make it okay to kill somebody.
Facts,
You know,
facts.
but that might be what we say here. You know, I'm not here to say what I think one way or another about my political views. I'm just saying, generally speaking, I don't think that a person, whether you're on, you know, whether you're a Democrat or a Republican, I don't think anybody deserves to be killed for their political views.
1,000%, especially a family person that's not breaking the law. I'm not saying anybody should be murdered, but somebody trying to do positive and uplifting things with kids involved, that's where
And I'm not
it's
talking about
over.
him necessarily.
Yeah.
But at the same time, there are
In
also
general, it's, okay,
in general,
yeah,
because there are also
with the mixed political views.
correct, because there are also those that make the point, which I could also see their viewpoint, that are saying, okay, but you reap what you sow, because he was a very open, he spoke very openly about the Second Amendment. He was very pro-gun. He, in the moments, literally right before he got shot, he was answering a question about gang violence.
Wow.
So people have asked him, he's very pro-gun. So a lot of people, especially, obviously not conservative Republicans, but a lot of people that are mainly Democrats, they're saying, hey, you know, online, you know, they're even going to as far as making dark jokes, saying, sorry, I don't feel bad, you reap what you sow.
See, that's where I have a hold up with it, and that's what I'm seeing. And today, that's what made me want to talk about his life pivoting experience, because now the head of the household, his family has to pivot in sorrow. So regardless of people's political reviews, you still have to be a human.
Yeah.
You know, you still have to have some type of like compassion towards others. So that's why I feel like, you know, it's very harsh, you know, just seeing the blood splatter from his death, from the video I saw, that's all I can think about. I'm thinking about his family's gonna think about that for the rest of his life. Just because, you know, we're in America, he's supposed to be freedom of speech. He's voicing his freedom of speech with people behind him that feel and agree to that freedom of speech. So who are we to say in these comments, oh, he can't express his freedom of speech? Because technically, if you're commenting, you're expressing your freedom of speech, right?
And that's kind of why we are doing this, is because we want to hear from you all and
Correct.
to see
Correct.
what do you all think,
Yeah,
you know?
all over the world.
Yeah, and again, keep it respectful, but what do you think in terms of, do you think a person like Charlie Kirk is somebody who is a American hero, like some people are calling him, that, hey, I was just somebody who was opening up debate. That's what
Facts,
America
facts.
stands for. I was just
Facts.
talking about, you know, what America stands for, or is this a person who is a defeatist? Is this somebody who got what he deserved because he's the one who openly was standing for pro-gun, all of these things. You all, and a lot of people are saying, oh, well, what about all these other school shootings, mass shootings, all these other terrorism that are happening in our country? You're backing all of this other bad stuff. Now this happened to you. Why should we feel bad? What do you all think about that? Do you all agree with this or with that? You know, that's what America is also about having open debate and discussion and still remain this open.
No, that's very powerful that you're saying, and that's what made me wake up today when you gave me the idea. And I'm like, you know what? Let's see what thousands of people feel, millions of people, billions of people feel across the world. And that's why I love technology. I love YouTube. I love this live feature because it's concerning, you know, to think that these things could continue to happen. And what's the difference from when Trump's situation happened? Are these assassinations going to continue to happen now, you know, because it's a lot of jokes. This thing went viral, but I feel like the world is in a very weird place as far as these things that are happening. You know, like I said, I compared it to history earlier when John F. Kennedy got assassinated, Malcolm X, you know, not to get like black and brown and white, but, you know, Martin Luther King, same kind of thing, you know, mysterious deaths. The killers don't really get caught, you know, because how can such a public person with a global reach or like a big presence, they haven't found the person, you know? So that's what makes
That's
me
the
think.
other
That's
thing.
what's scary. I'm like, is this political stuff? How haven't they found the lead? A kid gets shot in the hood where nobody wants to snitch and point a finger, they'll still find the killer.
And that's never happened before, I think, at least when it comes to politics, or, you know, when they don't, I mean, I guess when it came to, you know, JFK, but they've never not found, I guess they arrested 2 people yesterday, questioned them, they arrested somebody immediately after, and then somebody in the
released
evening,
them.
and then released them,
But
and
that's
then,
not hard evidence.
for-
If they get released that quick, that's pretty scary.
and
For
for
murder,
those of you who are,
assassination.
yeah, and for those of you who actually watched the video, which to a certain extent I kind of wish I didn't see it because it's kind of ingrained in my brain right now and it's kind of horrific to watch. The way that he was shot, almost, it looked like a professional sniper did it.
Oh, 1,000.
So
1,000.
a lot of people are also commenting, was this somebody who was hired to do this? You know, what do you guys think about that? Do you people think that it was just some random, you know, outraged person who is anti-Republican, anti what Charlie Kirk stands for? Or do you think that maybe there is somebody in the political world that, you know, there's so much stuff, I think personally, in politics that we have no idea about, deep in there, that the general public will never ever know about, that are happening underground, you know, and maybe that's somehow how that happened. Because a lot of people said how Trump was shot, it was the same
Same,
distance.
yes.
So a lot of people said that that was staged. So I don't know about this one, but I don't know, what do you guys think?
Stage or not stage, I see the similarity. That's what I was saying, like history. I think history is being made because this is such like a, you know, you see, and then like you see it happen not too long ago in the schools, and it's like, don't you guys see the pattern of these drastic things? It's like when you're watching movies and you're like, okay, this drastic thing happened in this time. Well, that's what's happening. On top of the ICE raids, people feeling like Trump is a new Hitler, a new terrorist. That's not just affecting the United States, but it affects the world.
Well, they're saying American political violence has increased a lot lately with, you know, Trump, two, attempted assassinations. Nancy Pelosi's husband was hit by a hammer.
I think it's riling people up. Like when you have a dog and you want to get them like riled up.
Yeah, but there were several things that have happened in the last probably 2 to 3 years, maybe less than that, within politics, where the politicians, from the president to the Speaker of the House, all of these people have been attacked. And so people are now scared of, is this now the normalcy in American politics?
Exactly, the new norm. And that's what I wanted to talk about. So drop some feedback, you guys. I'm reading the comments, and I want to know what everybody thinks, you know. And for the new people checking in, make sure you hit the subscribe button, because we're going to start covering topics more often and connecting with you guys, because I feel like the term pivot, it's not just about my life, it's about yours and about the world. And all I'm doing is sharing my perspective and real-time life perspectives with other people. So this is a life pivot now. Like, this is a change from, okay, people being safe. You have all of these law agencies that should be protecting somebody like this that isn't. So now is this going to be the new norm, where if political people are getting assassinated, anybody working a regular 9-to-5 job, if you raise your hand too high, are you going to get assassinated? Is that a new trend? You know, give me some feedback. I want to know in other places in the world that's dealing with warfare, what's you guys' take on what's happening? Because I feel like the temperature is a very sensitive time. You know, with our ICE raids, all these political people leaning towards one side. Not saying people wasn't doing that before, but I feel like right now it's at an all-time high. So even people doing public speeches like this, should this be limited and restricted now? Should people not do campaigns, or what would you say he was doing exactly?
Yeah, he was just doing a speech.
A speech. So should somebody not do a speech at a university to empower people? Because technically, I feel like I'm empowering people now with this platform. So should I not have a voice? Should I not raise my hand? Do I have to ask, hey, can I speak now? Is somebody gonna be snipering me through my window? So that's the take that I feel like it's like a belittling. I feel some type of way just because of like me staying neutral. I'm not taking a side. So I don't want like a Republican to say, oh, he should have died. Or I don't want a Democrat to say, oh man, one of ours got lost. No, just humanity. Humanity. Is this the new norm of the world? Because these things impact the world. The campaign that he was on, or what he was a part of, Trump's influence impacts the world. Money, everything that we're doing, these tariffs. So is it that? Are people that frustrated now where assassinations is going to continue to happen? So I don't know, but I like to find out. So if you guys have some feedback, drop some feedback. I'm going to check the comments now and see what you guys' takes on things.
Thank you guys for chiming in.
Yep.
Yeah, if you guys have any questions, let us know.
Yep. And for the new people checking in, make sure you hit the subscribe button. And we're going to work on going live more often, man. We're actually having a lot of fun doing this, and sharing our perspectives with you guys is what it's all about, you know?
And sometimes it'll be topics that are obviously not the most positive, but it is still important topics to be discussed, because now that we have the accessibility on being on platforms like this, where you can have people from different parts of the world just being able to tune in on YouTube Live and being able to discuss topics like this, it's important because you can hear other people's perspectives and that opens up your mind to
1,000%, 1,000%. And
I think that's important because otherwise people will be closed-minded and I think it's important to not have just a one, I think it's important not to just think of things one-sided. I think it's good to be open and you can feel a certain way, but still be open to hearing other people's perspective and say, okay, I have my viewpoint, but I'm open to hearing yours. And whether that's gonna change your mind or not, you can still be respectful enough to hear another person's perspective to see, okay, I can see your viewpoint and how you see things, and maybe that will change your viewpoint. Maybe that will give you another angle of seeing things, or maybe have you give you another understanding of why that person sees things. Because at the end of the day, people come from different backgrounds and from different circumstances, which sometimes will shape why they have certain opinions about certain things. You have to also understand that. At the end of the day, we have to all be realistic about, yes, that this is just a real fact, and this is not, I'm saying this is more of a general reality. This happened in Utah, where the majority of people that live there are white Christians that tend to be conservative Republican people. And they tend to be supporters of Charlie Kirk. That's why he was there at a speaking event. I don't think if he was here where we are in Los Angeles, in an area especially where there is a lot of, not to say that there aren't conservative Republicans here also, but in particular areas, California is more of a blue state, more Democrat. Obviously there's a ton of Republicans here too, but there are different viewpoints depending on where you live, and different circumstances, different backgrounds will sometimes shape your political views as well. That being said, because of where I come from, because of what I do for a living, all of these things have shaped sometimes what I think about certain things.
People's mindset, their takes on things, 100%.
And I'm sure that does that for you too as well. So we would love to hear where you guys are from. What is your background? What is your take? You don't have to say, if you don't feel comfortable, what your political views are. I mean, if you're open about it, please share that, because sometimes that does help to get people a better understanding as well. Again, I don't think necessarily that is indicative of being a human, like you said, to say, oh, just because I'm a Democrat means that I can't be a human and say, oh, I still feel that was a horrible thing to see. For example, if I was his wife and I had the two kids there watching their father get assassinated like that, Republican or Democrat, that's still a horrific scene to witness, I think most people would agree with that, but there are some people that don't. They just don't feel...
No, you're right. Some people are just so hung up on their political review
and that's...
that
And
there
are people in the comments that may feel that way. And then there are people that are conservative Republicans that are calling him a martyr. A martyr, because today I was like, hey, let me look up this definition of what this actually really means.
What's a martyr?
Because I've heard this phrase and I kind of knew what it meant, but it said a martyr is a person who is killed for their religious or other beliefs. So basically, the conservative Republicans who support him are saying, they're calling him a martyr, basically saying that they feel bad for him. Saying because he had these religious beliefs and he felt a certain way about certain
It triggered
things,
somebody. No, 1,000%.
He was killed because of it, and
1,000%.
that's not okay, they're saying.
1,000%.
But then that brings up the topic of, okay, but
there's a motive behind everything.
so many people in history. Then, okay, same thing with
Martin Luther King, John F.
Jr.
Kennedy,
There's so
Malcolm
many people.
X.
All these people were killed then because of their beliefs.
Yeah. No, that's what I'm learning now, because when I grew up as a kid, I didn't really have the literacy to understand what was the motive behind it. I just thought it was like a racial thing, but now at a grown age, it's more to it, and now remove the color. What's the difference with Malcolm X dying and him dying? What's the difference with Martin Luther King dying? Remove the color part,
Yeah.
remove the racism.
Yeah.
Somebody felt in that year that happened, years ago, decades ago, somebody felt something that triggered them to want to shoot. In 2025, in Utah, somebody got triggered that wanted to shoot. Now the question is, was it a personal trigger because of the religion, like you said? Was it the politics, the Democrat, Republican thing? Was it religion? What was it? Was it the government? You know?
I don't know, what do you guys think?
Yeah, you guys let me know in the comments, and all the people checking in, I don't know if you had a chance to read the description to see what our spin was, but we don't want to be know-it-alls. We just actually decided to do it live today to like,
Get you all to engage.
yeah, to
more
get
than
everybody
anything.
to engage and just be humans and have a humanitarian approach to it, because our hearts are out there. We're setting our hearts out for the family, you know, and the impact, and you know, we're God-fearing people, so it hits home. You know, anybody that has a family that, you know, these kids are going to be traumatized for the rest of their lives, so we're not just doing it for views or likes. And I feel like it is a life pivotal moment in history that coincides with the title of the podcast, so that's why we decided to talk about it, because I want to continue to share life pivotal things as we build this community of people that, you know, want to engage and want to you know, seek day-to-day uplifting through this, because maybe this could shape your perspective. Like she said, you know, at the end of the day, I've learned a lot through perspective and not staying in my own way, getting out of my way through, you know, networking and getting a perspective with other people. So yes, I'm not a Republican. Yes, I wasn't following his political reviews, but I'm a human, so I'm still gonna feel some type of way, and I know what's right and what's wrong, but I don't feel like what happened today was right. So I want to know you guys' feedback, and let me know in the comments what you guys think. And all the new people that's just checking in for the first time, make sure you hit the subscribe button, as we are going to continue to drop you guys some nice, amazing content and some fun perspective, you know, and try to make a good vibe out of these life catastrophes that's happening, man. It's very sad, and I pray that it doesn't continue to happen, you know.
And what I'm scared of is that, you know, a lot of times when things like this happen, the fear is always that, you know, some young, I don't know if it's necessarily young, but is some, now a Republican person who's very pro Charlie Kirk gonna try to take revenge now and go after some big political Democrat and try to assassin them now and do something there and to make a point as a revenge.
Exactly. Like, is that the new norm or what?
And
We
it's
don't
gonna be
know.
tit for tat now, and now we're gonna live in this, and now America's gonna turn into this type of country where politicians are just getting killed left and right. And that's what I'm scared of is, you know, because these things are widespread so quickly that, especially with, at the end of the day, obtaining firearms in this country is quite easy. And what if now somebody from University of Utah that was present there, that had to go through this experience yesterday, witnessing Charlie Kirk being assassinated, and they themselves being a part of this scary, traumatizing event, having to be evacuated, what if they now say, you know what, I'm gonna go buy a firearm and go shoot up some Democratic event.
Exactly.
And start shooting
Exactly.
everybody.
And I think it will fuel like other copycats. That's what I'm scared of. And that's why I wanted to start this topic today, to drop some, you know, gems in my perspective and hear some other perspective as well. So all you new people checking in, make sure you hit the subscribe button so we can stay connected. And as we're building this community of trust and loyalty and real life scenarios, real life pivots, I would love to hear you guys' perspective. Check in and let me know where you guys are from, and what's your take on this assassination today. Is it gonna change America? What's the take on it, guys? What's actually gonna come out of it? Yep, thank you so much.
Those are my good points, because that's what makes this country great.
No.
people to have their different views.
Yep.
That's the whole point, is open communication, open debate, basically, without anybody having to get hurt in the midst of all of it.
1000%.
And that's why we can do it through live and these YouTube videos, and people can write their comments, and we can all just talk openly and see what everybody thinks.
Yep. No, and we appreciate it. You know, as we're a growing community, we're up to about 1,000+ subscribers, and we're growing every day. And we're based in Los Angeles, and we want to continue to build this community of trust and loyalty, and just some real people, real perspectives, and we value every comment and repost. You know, so stay in tune, and we're gonna keep dropping some more information on anything that we see is a life pivotal moment in history that's gonna shape the world, you know, because we reach people all over the world, even though we're based in Los Angeles. So all the new people checking in and out of the chat, make sure you do yourself a favor, hit the subscribe button. We're on TikTok as well, LVYC Life Pivot, and we're on Instagram as well. And we try to, you know, actively post every few days, but as we get more into this, we're gonna get a little bit more aggressive with it and start engaging more with you guys, because we love connecting real time. I think it's a powerful tool with you people, and we value you guys' take on life too. So feel free to drop a comment and let us know what you guys take on it. Do you feel it was fair, not fair? Are you a Democrat? Are you a Republican? What's your take? Because I feel like all of that matters. And I want to say, I'm doing like my own case study or a poll on this to see, like, okay, away from my perspective, what does the world think about these things? So all you new people checking in, don't be shy. Be open-minded, and feel free to drop a comment and let me know. And make sure you check out some of the new content, as I interview people weekly that have life pivotal stories to inspire people. You know, your back's against the wall. You're dealing with all this life inflation right now, because not just in America, it's all over the world. Everything's being inflated. The cost of living's higher. We're not making that much more money. So I feel like all of these things matter, and it will create day-to-day life pivot changes for people, families, friends, your work, everything. You know, today, like, this is a life pivot. I mean, whatever stressed this person out to kill this person and triggered him, that's a life pivot. You know, it's going to change the way people do things. We're going to have to up the security. People are going to have to be more on alert, and you're going to have to be careful with public speaking, because if this is the case now, knowing that, you know, you could get assassinated for speaking positive stuff, it's not like, you know, he was a criminal or anything like that was, you know, spreading a false or bad message. He was actually a positive family person pushing a youth organization. So if positivity is going to get you killed.
Well, I don't know. I'll take that one. I don't know what he was, because I haven't personally listened to what he said. I don't necessarily agree with a lot of his viewpoints personally.
Yeah.
But that's neither here or there. Again, that doesn't mean that I agree with his assassination. But a lot of people, you know, might not agree with you, Damian, about his speech being positive, because there are people out there.
No, you're right. And that was just positive from my, just generally speaking.
Because he does discuss controversial topics.
Yeah.
You know, and that is most likely why he was assassinated.
Yeah.
Like I said, the topics that he talked about was immigration, anti-abortion. So he does discuss ICE, you know, and religion, and, you know, he's Christian, so he doesn't agree with other religions.
Yeah.
So these are things that a lot of people in America don't necessarily agree with him on. So that has to be, you know, a lot of people will say, well, he has to be held accountable for that. Again, held accountable is one thing, being assassinated is another. So it depends, you know, it depends on people's viewpoints. You know, some people agree with what he says and stands for, some people don't.
1,000.
But again, whether you do or you don't, we still don't condone violence of that kind and of any kind, because at the end of the day, it just makes this country an unsafe place.
Facts.
And nobody agrees with that, because we want to be able to live in a country where we can walk around and feel safe.
No, 1,000.
And if our politicians or people that are, able to have different viewpoints are going to be killed left and right, then that's not going to make people feel safe enough to have different opinions anymore, and everybody's going to start just
Doing chaos.
people are just not going to talk about their opinions anymore.
Yeah. And then there goes your freedom of speech. You're right. You new people checking in, make sure you hit the subscribe button, and we're gonna continue to drop you guys some life gems and life pivots. We just wanted to tap on this unfortunate situation. Thank you guys for checking in. We're gonna close out the chat, and stay tuned. Stay tuned, as like I said, we're gonna try to do at least 1 or 2 lives weekly to connect with you guys, and keep you guys in tune. So if you like what you're seeing, thumbs up on all the posts. Make sure you share them and subscribe so you can stay tuned. And it was a pleasure chatting with you guys. I hope you guys have a blessed day. Let's put in a prayer for this Charlie Kirk family. May God watch over them, and hopefully he's in a better place. And a very unfortunate situation today. I don't wish bad or death on anybody, and definitely not on this platform. We're gonna condone, like Tara said, any type of violence. So we just want to send our heart out to his family, and the people that actually care about humans, because it seems like a lot of people commenting on all this controversy in the comments from what I'm seeing online. It's not positive stuff, like Tara was saying earlier. So I don't really condone that, and I just want to give this channel a positive community of people and positive insight, uplifting, like not negative, not bashing a family that just seen the dad and the husband get assassinated. So
that has nothing to do with what your thoughts are on. We're removing the part about your stand on what you think about him. It's more so about the death is not, we still want an open forum. We want you to be able to speak your piece and say what you want, but still remain respectful about, this situation.
no, 1,000%. And like I said, we're gonna keep covering it. Hopefully we could get some more insight, and we could do a follow-up once we do get some more information about it. Until then, stay tuned. Stephen Mitchell, I see you. Hi back, man. Thank you for checking in. If you're new to the channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button, and feel free to chime in. We're open format. We're not dictators. We definitely want people's perspectives. Why we open the platform and open the table today for people to come and share.
An unbiased segment so that everybody can feel comfortable enough to comment and chime in about what their viewpoints are, their stance on, what their thoughts are, what their feelings are. We definitely wanted to make sure that this was not a live where we're taking one side or another, because we saw that there were a lot of lives or a lot of posts that were like that, and we definitely did not want to do that. So we want to make sure that all of you guys who are chiming in are, seeing that this is an unbiased life, so to speak, so that you feel comfortable enough to open up your mind and share your viewpoints on how you feel about all of this. There's no judgment whatsoever. You can feel this way or the other extreme. No judgment whatsoever. Totally open forum here.
Yep.
Yeah, and we are also recording the episode outside of the live, which Damian's gonna post that. So please make sure you come back to the channel. So if you want, please subscribe to the channel so that you can come back and comment under that if you didn't get a chance to comment under the comments on the live, so we can engage with you too, because we love to see different types of engagement, so we can get different viewpoints on it.
Yeah, and we love you guys' feedback. And like we said, thanks again for checking in. All the new people, make sure you hit the subscribe button. And until next time, it was a pleasure.